What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's about to be that time. About to be that time. That time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Savage.
Yeah! And we're back. And a certain someone can grab lightning now. So I need Enel versus Luffy 2.0 ASAP. I need Enel to throw some lightning. I need Luffy to grab that lightning. And I need him to do whatever he's about to do to Kaido to Enel. Alright? Whether that's actually hitting him with the lightning, slapping him with the lightning, or like Maxo and a bunch of people in the stream were talking about, Luffy using the lightning just as he did the Nidai Kitetsu and just punching Kaido with the lightning but not actually zapping him with it. This man just grabbed lightning, just went and just turned into a giant, jumped up into the sky, and it's just... I mean, you heard him. It's over 8,000. Sorry for the 9,000 fans. Should be over 9,000 too, but I mean, according to that, it's only 8.
Savage.
So a lot of people were questioning, did Luffy make the lightning? No, I think he just went into the sky and grabbed the lightning that was in the sky. Now, the question is he rubberizing the lightning? Is he creating a rubber handle for him and the rest is lightning? Is the whole thing rubber now? What does this mean for everything? Because if he can grab lightning or rubberize lightning, then by all means I fully expect him to be able to walk on water now, to bounce along water, to basically pull an Aokiji and just create a surface layer of rubber on top of it. You know, not actually producing rubber, but just changing the property. There are just so many implications of all of this. I mean, the last thing I was expecting was to turn the page and see Luffy holding a lightning bolt. I mean, this man is the god of lightning. He's the new king of lightning, as everybody was saying.
Savage.
Anyway, there's some fun stuff to talk about this week, so let's get into it. So at first glance, 1046 probably feels like a setup chapter, but in reality it's actually a payoff chapter. One of the most satisfying things about this chapter, which I had to marinate on, because in the stream I was just like, yeah, you know, we did all the vignettes, which I always love. You know, going and catching up with everybody, getting the geography of where everybody is. I love that, right? But in the stream, I was like, but you know, nothing is happening. The story isn't moving, right? But what it's actually doing is essentially what I've been asking for a long time, is to sit in the dread. But on my first read, I wasn't actually picking up on that. When I reread it and started to, you know, analyze it off stream, I was like, wait, hold on, okay. That's what Oda's doing here. He's sitting in the dread of the fire. I keep wanting the antagonist to be the dread, right? But in this particular instance, the fire is the problem. It has been the problem, but this is where it hits a fever pitch. We see Robin and Brook are halted by it. They have no other options. They have nowhere to go. Usopp cannot save Kinemon and Kiku the way that he wants, because his techniques also do not work. We are seeing futile escape after futile escape. We see the boy Sanji with Chuji. Lurking legend Chuji returns. It's my favorite part of the chapter. Unabashedly. Best part of the chapter. Shout out to the boy Chuji. FREECHUJI. Sanji. He can't get these women to safety. Frankie. He's having a tough time getting Zoro to Chopper because of all of the flames. And of course, fan favorite Smile Briscola is also feeling the dread. He also cannot escape these flames.
Savage.
And then we get Raizo with his scroll no Asspull, and he has a ton of water. Zunisha Rain Eruption water inside of his scrolls, because Raizo does have a devil fruit. Okay, that was confirmed in Weaver cards. That he has either the Maki Maki no Mi, the roll fruit, or the scroll fruit. Either way, it's fine. During a rain eruption off screen, Raizo took a bunch of the water to make his preparations. All right, what else does he have in his bag? Because if he's got 1,000,000 gallons worth of water just tucked away, what else does this man have tucked? I'd like to know. But yes, it's a little bit of an Asspull, but only because there were no hints for this. But it's not a bad Asspull. There are bad ones. You know, there are ones that really just come out of nowhere. But here, this is actually a payoff of 1, the explanation of the rain eruptions, 2, a fantastic use of Raizo's abilities, 3, a great parallel, you know, sort of payoff of the Minks saving Raizo in the first place, so that all of their sacrifices, Inuarashi losing his leg, Nekomamashi losing his arm, right? The people of Zo getting their houses trampled on to save Raizo, right? This is the culmination of Raizo is safe. Whether we got the flashback earlier or not, we would have expected this. That's the whole point. You know, we talked about this in the stream, but I mean, it's just, if we knew about it, we'd have expected it. So that's why we didn't know about it, but it makes sense. So now, all of that payoff comes into this particular moment, and because Raizo was saved by them, he is able to save them, to save everybody, with the help of Fireman Jinbei, which has, you know, sort of become a meme on the channel because I've been calling him Fireman Jinbei for months. I've been saying, you know, when there were chapters, there was like I don't know, it felt like a 20 chapter stretch where we didn't even see Jinbei. And I just said, hey, you know, we're going to get Fireman Jinbei. He's going to come and he's going to help put out this fire.
Another one.
I've been calling him that, but I was not expecting this when I said that. All right, we really got extreme Fireman Jinbei here. This man was ping-ponging, slingshotting water all over the place. Evo in the stream was talking about, you know, what if Kawamatsu helps him? That'd be awesome. Both of them tag teaming to make sure that they're getting every corner of this castle de-fired. Let's do it. A truly phenomenal Jinbei feat. Best feat of the arc. You know, I mean, like, he beat Who's Who, yeah, that's fine. But I mean, like, this man is literally about to save everyone. And I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. We see Bepo this chapter, as usual, doing absolutely nothing. But then again, the second in commands of every, you know, major crew that's here are all incapacitated. All right? Frankie's running around with Zoro over his shoulder. We got a bunch of fodder kid pirates carrying Killer for whatever reason to keep him out of the flames. And then Bepo is also being carried by fodder Heart Pirate members. Now what's interesting here is that Beppo's reaction to the flames is the exact same reaction that Chopper used to have when he was around fire. All right? If anybody remembers in Alabasta, that was a big issue for Chopper. The reaction that Beppo's giving is basically exactly the same. So I'm wondering, does Chopper actually have the Hito no Mi model mink? Really, this just comes down to both of them having a lot of fur and both being drawn to the cold. Chopper comes from a winter island and Bepo is a polar bear. But the other interesting thing on top of all of that is that Chopper is not complaining about the heat at all. I don't know what that's about. That used to be his thing. So Kaido tells Luffy that he has achieved awakening, right? So now Luffy will be aware that that is what all of this is if he hasn't already come to that conclusion himself. But the way that Kaido words it is that this is what we call awakening, implying that Kaido has been awakened this whole time. Now it's very possible that, the flame clouds and lifting an entire island and flying it across the seas is an awakened ability of his fruit, like I've been saying since 997. People are expecting some sort of weird transformation, and I mean, there could be that as well, right? And considering that he's talking about it, if we're ever going to get that, the next chapter is probably a good place for it. Since Kaido is talking about, asking Luffy, who is he? Kaido, I think, is having those wheels turn, and he's starting to understand that Luffy is probably Joy Boy, right? I guess you couldn't be Joy Boy either. Well, now I guess you could be Joy Boy. So I think that there should be some sort of a lore dump from Kaido in the next chapter or the following chapter. There has to be a payoff to this particular setup. Kaido's at his limit. Luffy's at his limit. This arc is at its limit. This act is at its limit. And I think we're going to get that. And I think that that's what is being called upon here in the Momonosuke and Yamato scene. Yamato is basically acknowledging that this fight is about to end, and Momonosuke needs to get underneath so that he can hold it up like his father did during the Hour of Legends. Luffy's at his limit. He's been using his lifespan the entire series, and there's just no way around it. He's running out of lifespan, okay? And Kuma isn't here to remove all of his pain, but there is someone in this arc that could potentially actually inject him with some lifespan rather than take it from him. And that person is Law, which would create an interesting parallel to the Kuma and Thriller Bark moment. It would sort of kill the Laws and Sword theory, but at the end of the day, that theory was created to give Law purpose beyond this arc. Law's true purpose has always ended in Wano, because his whole goal was to get to this moment. He doesn't need to go beyond it, but there are ways for Oda to keep him in the story if his popularity should allow, or if he has actually been, putting these hints in the story that Law is a secret agent. But I really do think that we're getting set up for Law to use this operation and inject his remaining lifespan into Luffy, whether he wants it or not. Then we'd finally get Sulong Beppo, right? Upset that his captain has been dispatched. One of the things that Zunisha brings up that is interesting to me is the word fate, which is all over the series. And Oda, being the big Terminator fan that he is, like myself, I believe that one of the themes by the time we get to the end of the series is going to be whether there actually is no fate but what we make for ourselves, or can we choose our own fate. Zunisha says that it all feels like fate, that Luffy has turned into Joy Boy at this moment, has awakened his fruit, and there are several points within the story where fate is brought up. Whoop slap. Basically, Blackbeard's crew talks about fate every single time they are ever in the story. 9 times out of 10, someone in the crew is talking about fate. And soon enough, I think we're going to figure out whether there actually is a fate to all of this prophecy, or if Capone was right, and even if you can see a little bit into the future, you still have the power to change it. This chapter has an interesting structure to it. We start with Luffy and Kaido, right? And Kaido is challenging Luffy's beliefs that the Alliance is going to make it out alive. We see Luffy basically exclaiming that he's putting his trust in everyone downstairs and just taking care of business up top. We follow through a series of just everybody going through the dread of this fire, culminating to Raizo saving everybody and lifting us out of that and proving Luffy's words right. And then we cut back to Luffy and he's throwing a lightning bolt at Kaido.
It's about to get spicy.
But where do we go from here, right? So Kaido is catching on to the fact that Luffy is Joy Boy. So I want a continuation of that. I'd like a name drop of Joy Boy in front of Luffy by Kaido. I think that has to happen relatively soon. I think that Yamato's claims, basically that this fight is about to end, will have to come true. Momonosuke will, of course, go underneath Onigashima and hold it up like the Hour of Legends. We need an immediate answer to what is going on with all of this water, right? It's being slingshotted around. Is it going to actually douse the flames? or not. It very well could. Lucy B in the chat brought up, will these flames save Orochi? Possibly. Possibly. Raizo, in saving everybody, literally saves everyone, including Orochi. That would be an Oda thing to do. And then we have to deal with Orochi once again. But hey, opens the door for Kurozumi Tama. And I'm always available for that. I need Frankie to meet Chopper, and if the water here is a go-between and something that brings them together, then I'm okay with that. Chopper's got to start working on Zoro immediately. And I need some more tension, right? Because here's the thing. You remove the tension of the fire, right? That means you need to add tension of something else, unless you're really ready to end the arc. And we still have some plot threads that are open, like Schoolboy Collins, the other CP0 member. So if he just appears in front of Robin and Brooke, then we have new tension to take us into the next chapter. By 1050, I'm expecting either a flashback or an introduction into the arc of a new element. Finding out who's on the world government ships. Is it Vegapunk? Will Dragon arrive? Will Shanks arrive? Will Blackbeard arrive? Something needs to happen at the end of this, but Luffy will defeat Kaido. I'm loving this cover story, and we were doing a lot of guessing in the stream earlier about who this possibly could be, right? The obvious answer is that it's Reiju and Ichiji not in their raid suits, right? Because the shoes don't match. That's the obvious answer. A fun answer is that the left one, which does look female, could be Katarina Devon, and the right, maybe Van Augur or Lafitte. Leaning more towards Van Augur if it is supposed to be the Blackbeard Pirates. It would be interesting, and it's been theorized for years, that Blackbeard would take advantage of Big Mom not being in Whole Cake Island and try to take the poneglyphs and all that so he can get closer to the One Piece himself. Makes sense, right? Some fun answers that people were throwing out were Johnny and Yosaku. They're done being fishermen in Kokoyashi, and now they're taking on the new world. Of course, the lurking legend Greene, right? Some people were saying that it's Pedro. I mean, it does look like him, but we're not going to go there. And King J, one of my favorite responses, Crocodile and Mr. One. I mean, I'd love that. Emil said Vivi and Sabo. Doesn't really make sense for Vivi and Sabo to be in Whole Cake, and when we see them again, it will be in the main narrative, I assure you. But either way, that's going to wrap things up. It's break week. We're going to do a theory for theory. Stay tuned to the community posts and in the Discord for who it will be and what time it will be. Now, granted, the past couple of theory for theories have been at our usual time, but at some point, someone's not going to be able to make that time, and we'll have to adjust to their schedules. And I hope that works for everybody else as well. I want to thank our members. Our new members are Dr. Jack and It Unidentified. And we also had Arari, Andrew Austin, Nikolai Gordon, and my guy Ryo rejoined the channel. Appreciate you. And of course, Milo Cake upgraded. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Chrissy and I appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to it. If you can make it, I'll see you at Theory for Theory. Otherwise, we'll be back here for 1047 in 2 weeks. All right, later, everybody.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.